Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rajni and today I decided to make a very short video on something that I get asked a lot, which is how to improve your communication skills. So this is a question that I come across all the time. Every batch that I take, there is at least one person who comes up to me at the end of the batch and asks me, how can I improve my communication skills? How can I be more fluent? How can I speak better English? And even otherwise, when I meet people, this is the question that I get most of the times. Now, the answer to this question is a little complicated because, of course, you will only get better with practice. So the more you speak and the more effort that you put in, the better you will get. But I decided to share some of my learnings and how I got better and how I improved my vocabulary and my communication skills and my spoken English. So we'll talk about this in today's video. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about vocabulary. Now, vocabulary is nothing but how many words you know. So the collection of words that you know is your vocabulary, and the more words you learn, your vocabulary keeps increasing. So for this, what I did was, I was always interested in reading. So I would go to the library and I would pick up books that were interesting, and I would just keep reading a lot of books. I think I must have read all the books written by Enid Blyton when I was in school, because those books appeal to children because they are full of fantasies and fairy tales. So I read a lot of those books, and then growing up I was addicted to Sidney Sheldon, and I read almost all books written by Sidney Sheldon. And by reading these books, you read new words, you learn new words. So when you come across a word, sometimes you don't even have to look that word up because you understand the context of the sentence. So if there's a word in a certain sentence, in a certain scenario, you automatically understand that, okay, this word could mean something like this. But it's always a good idea to look up these new words that you come across and to learn these words along the way. So one way of increasing your vocabulary and to improve it is to definitely read more. So some people say read the newspaper. I find it a little boring, so I don't like reading the newspaper. But if you like reading the newspaper, then by all means you should. Otherwise, you can pick up any book that you like. It could be fiction, it could be self-help, it could be anything that you're interested in. But in a book, you will come across new words that you will learn along the way. So that is a good idea to improve your vocabulary. Next, what I started doing as a teenager was I started watching a lot of English movies, English shows, and I started listening to English music. Now, I also come from a middle class family. I grew up in a middle class family and I went to a middle class school. So there wasn't any specific attention given to my English as such. Of course, I studied in an English medium school, but like all schools, we also spoke in Hindi at school. Only in front of teachers would we ever speak in English. But I made sure that I started watching English movies and English shows, like I said. What this does is, first of all, it improves your accent comprehension, which means that you start understanding a foreign accent. So if the show is American or British, you start understanding English spoken in American accent or in British accent. So your accent comprehension becomes better. And then you also start learning the words that they use, the figure of speech that they use, and your spoken English also gets better because you start understanding spoken English in those shows and in the movies. So this is another good idea, which is to start watching English movies, English shows, and to listen to English songs, because even when you're listening to songs, you are trying to catch the lyrics along the way and you're trying to understand what they are singing. So that's a good idea. And these days it's even better because on different platforms, OTT platforms, you have subtitles at the bottom. So even if you can't follow what they are saying, you can kind of correlate that to the subtitles given at the bottom, and that way you can improve your English. Another thing that I would personally say is very helpful is to maintain a journal or to write your thoughts. What this does is it forces you to translate your thoughts into words. So sometimes we know what we are feeling or what we are thinking, but when we actually have to say them out loud or to write them down, that's when we start struggling with it a little bit. So one good idea is to write a journal or to write anything that comes to your mind. If you have ideas or if you want to convey something to somebody or anything that comes in your mind, you should write it down. It could even be a dream journal, for example. So when you wake up in the morning, you can just write down what you dreamt of last night or before waking up. You can write about your ambitions, your aspirations, any opinions, anything that you want to change in the world. So when you're writing these things, you are forcing yourself to communicate these things and to put them into words. That way you will become more fluent without even realizing it. Another way is to practice free speech. So what you can do is, a lot of people must have told you this already, which is to speak in the mirror. So you can give yourself a topic and you can talk to yourself in the mirror about it. Or these days you can use your phones to record yourself, make a video of yourself, or if you're video conscious or camera conscious, then you can record an audio note. So give yourself a topic, something that is interesting, like what do I want to do after 10 years, or what are my goals, what are my hobbies, what is my dream, where do I want to travel to, why do I want to go to this place, and just record yourself. So then you are forcing yourself to communicate clearly, and then you can see where all you need to improve. One very important thing to remember is to understand the difference between spoken English and written English. So if you focus too much on the foundation of your English, which is grammar and the rules of grammar and how you're supposed to write sentences, writing essays or writing formal letters, or even reading formal articles in the newspaper, these are all examples of written English. Now written English is always written in the formal manner and the sentences are grammatically correct. However, if you focus on spoken English, which is why I suggested that you watch English movies and English shows, that's because that's where you will see how English is generally spoken in your day-to-day lives. So there they would use a lot of slang, which is casual words. They would use figures of speech, which is the modern version of idioms, for example. So when somebody says something like what's up, or what's going on, or you have no idea, so these things are said in a casual way, and this is how people generally talk. If you focus too much on written English and not on spoken English, then you will speak in old English or something which is more obsolete, and it wouldn't be very current. So there would be a gap in the conversation that you're having with somebody who could be from an English speaking country. So this is a very good idea to focus on spoken English, which is what I said you can do by watching English shows or by speaking in English most of the time. And if you can speak to a native English speaker, if you're friends with somebody who is from an English speaking country, then that's even better. So one thing that I would highly recommend is to download an online dictionary on your phone. So you have different applications that you can download which are different dictionaries. You can do that so that you can easily refer to it when you come across a new word. Or what you can also do is you can just click on your Google mic and you can say the word and it would pull up the meaning of the word. And one great thing about dictionaries these days is that they also come with a speaker icon, and you can actually hear the word and hear the pronunciation of the word. It even tells you the pronunciation in American accent and in the British accent. So this is a tip that I would highly recommend, that either download a dictionary on your phone or refer to Google, search for words on Google, and always check the meaning of words. That way you can keep adding new words to your vocabulary, and you can also learn the pronunciation of that word. Okay, now it's time for a bonus tip. This is probably the best tip that I can give to you, and it is free and with maximum effect. So what you can do is you can try and join a multinational corporation or even a BPO, because when you join a BPO, they generally train you on accent and accent neutralization. They make sure that your spoken English is good and that you're fluent. So that way you can get free training and you get exposure to different countries. When you interact with people from a native English speaking country, then you're getting hands-on experience with your spoken communication. So this is a way that my English improved to a great degree. So I started my career with a company where I was interacting with Americans, and then when I joined the second company, I was interacting with British clients. So that way I could understand the way they were speaking. My accent accent comprehension became a lot better, and even without realizing, I started mimicking their accent. So my pronunciation became more clear and more crisp, and my accent also became very neutral. When I was working for the British process, my accent actually became very British back then. So this is a really good tip. If you can join a BPO or an MNC for some time, this would definitely improve your communication skills, and they would improve your spoken English to a great degree. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope this would help you, and if you think this would, then please like this video, and also let me know if there are any topics that you would like me to cover in the comments below. You can also let me know your thoughts about this video in the comments, and like I always say, please share this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.